What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another episode of Louis Vuitton Don on his one-trick saw. In this video, I'm going to be giving a guide on weapon power saw, and I hope you stick along for the ride and listen to some general tips and tricks I have to give for him. So, right off the bat, Alpha goes in, tries to steal that. She's not going to steal it because I'm saw. I shank away because Scarf's doing a lot of damage. Pick up a double kill. Easy. When you're playing saw, always go for the mid because he does so much damage that you're gonna be able to get it most of the time. So, don't take this gameplay that seriously because I start to troll once we snowball a little bit, but take the tips I give seriously because they're pretty good. Reading off some notes here, but anyway, let's just dive right into it. Saw has a lot of nuances that take a lot of time to get used to, so I'm going to be just touching on some of the things that I find useful when I'm playing Saw. And yeah, okay, so one tip right off the bat. Right there, I aggro Scarf because I'm trying to see if I can kill her or if she's used Flask. So she hadn't used Flask prior to that point, but she did, so I poured home and shop. This is what I get first shop, like every time it's Saw. Just build towards Sorrow Blade. And remember, the mentality you gotta have when you're playing him is that Saw does more damage than every other hero in the game at like almost every single point in the game if you're snowballing. So you have to have that mentality that you're just gonna out-trade the enemy laner every single time. So right here, like Scarf, it's not even really an overextension, but Scarf just walks up and loses 2/3 of her health, 2 more shots, a Spitfire, or no, a B from Blackfeather, and then she's dead. So you can't be scared at all while you're playing Saw. You just have to constantly try to harass and get as much damage as possible, except when the turret's glitching. That's really annoying. Get as much damage as possible onto the enemy heroes. Right here, I have Flask, so I decide to bait Alpha, use my B. I know she's gonna go in, so then I pop it and then kill her because I'm doing a lot of damage. And Alpha is really easy to kill early game. We pick up another double kill, so already we've got 4 kills, 1 assist, 3.5 minutes in, and it's just all off of playing aggressively. I use my B ability on Scarf, try to get a little bit of damage off on her, and then go ahead and take the turret. Right here, I'll probably go down and shop. I'm so fed this game. If Alpha went in there, he probably would have died. But yeah, I've got Sorrow Blade, and I'm going to pick up some crit as well. So my mindset whenever I play a rank with Saw is that I'm better than the enemy players, and I'm going to outplay them by playing aggressively. So if you like playing this way, Saw's kit is complemented like perfectly by this skill set and by this mindset. So if you feel comfortable, you know, with that mentality, really like give Saw a try. Let's see, what else is going on? We're just gonna be trying to push in. We've got 4 kills already. We're already really fed. I'm not gonna rotate to jungle, but like I see that my allies are fighting down in the jungle and one of the enemy heroes died, so we can just go ahead and take turret. If Scarf rotates, yeah, it's too late. So 2 turrets in under 5 minutes, just keep pushing, keep doing damage whenever possible. And as you can see, like whenever Alpha gets in range of me, I just use my A ability to get away. And that's the case for every hero. You can keep attacking minions in lane, you know, up until like they use an ability towards you, then just use your A to get away. And Saw's like really a pretty easy hero to play once you get the hang of him. Because after you've sort of like mastered his mechanics and what you should do with him, you can just sort of like go on autopilot and win like every single game with him. One thing that I'd say that separates bad Saw players and ones that can play him at a high elo, besides just bad mechanics and bad game skills in general, is the ability to damage and attack the enemy carry and like the enemy support under turret. So like you saw earlier when we killed Scarf when he was right under his turret, you should be trying to do that every single game. One thing that's important to know is learn how long it takes the turret to actually fire a shot off after it targets you. It's around like half a second or so. But once you like learn that time, then you'll be able to just constantly step in and out of turret range while attacking the enemy heroes, and you won't take any damage. So right here we're gonna push in, get a third turret, and as you can see right before the turret's dead, I aggro and like I attack the enemy alpha so that like turret doesn't start attacking me, you know, before he's dead. So I only want to take like one turret shot or so. Go ahead, rotate down, steal all their jungle. I have 3,000 farm. Yeah, this is just a ridiculous snowball. One mantra or one thing I'd say that's important to keep in mind while you're playing Saw, besides push to win, is you have to always be attacking something, whether that's gold mine, whether that's alpha right here, whether that's, wow, he really got away there. That's annoying. I could have used my B, but I want to get gold mine. Whether that's anything, you just always want to be attacking something, because this is how Saw snowballs, just by doing his massive damage and by capitalizing on the enemy when they overextend. So this is often like under turrets, like the enemy will overextend and then you can just shoot them, do a lot of damage. If they don't have a healer, they're forced to play more passive so they don't die, or port home, and then that translates to turrets, which translates to gold, which translates to items, which translates to winning the game. So capitalizing on every mistake the enemy team makes, punishing them for it, and just generally being aggressive wins you games while you're playing Saw. Really important to CS well too. Like I have 105 CS in 8 minutes, which is pretty solid. So yeah, you're just constantly gonna be in lane, be in jungle, you know, be in their jungle, or you just have to be doing something the whole game. So yeah, we're gonna just continue pushing a little bit here. I just want my Black Feather to engage for me, because you know when you're going into a Scarf, he's gonna just poke you, which is annoying. So I need someone to boots in and do something for me. So I decide to boots in. I instantly kill him. I get Atlased, but it doesn't really matter. Pop the flask. Arden somehow gets away. That's really annoying, but we get a double kill, probably get another turret here, and like if my team played this correctly, we could finish the game right about here, but we don't end up, like, I don't know, it's not the VGA, we don't really care. So I'll talk about some common matchups you might see in the lane as Saw now. Here's like Vox, Kestrel, Weapon Power Pedo, Weapon Power Adagio, Celeste, Scarf. A good Saw can basically beat every single one of these heroes early game, because I mean, Saw can win every game, you know, if the enemy team is not good. But assuming like the enemy carry is also a god, and like if you're a god Saw, one of the only lane matchups that can beat Saw is Weapon Power Kestrel. Weapon Power Kestrel just does so much damage with her arrows that she outranges you as Saw. So I don't step into the goop there, nice. So you can't really push into her, especially if you don't have a healer, because she just can out-damage you from range. Juked, get wrecked. Scarf, is he gonna die? No, he's gonna boost. Yeah. Yeah, I would recommend if you're playing into a Saw, I would pick Weapon Power Kestrel and just don't die, don't overextend, and just constantly try to clear minions as fast as possible, because it's sort of a race as to who can clear minions faster, and Saw is going to win almost every single time. But if you shop well and you try to, you know, harass the Saw at moments where you can, then you're going to end up beating them. I try to 1v3 there just because, you know, when I have a snowball like this, I'm just going to try to get replays in 1v3s, so yeah. Let's talk about some other matchups. Saw into Weapon Power Vox, you should basically never lose. Honestly, I've played like I don't even know. On 2.9, maybe like almost 40 Saw games or so, and I think I lost to Vox once, like when my brother called me and I left the game or something, because Vox is, he does so little damage that you don't have to build armor, so you can just get triple Tyrant's Monocle, and you can melt Vox, like even if he gets a metal jacket. It's not even close. So yeah, when you're playing Saw, just always try to 1v1 the enemy heroes when you can, because yeah, you're gonna kill them every single time. Right here, we go ahead and just take the gold mine because the enemy team can't engage. They can't really do anything because they would die immediately if they went in, because I'm I'm triple Tyrants and Sorrowblade Saw less than 12 minutes in, so GG. It's a tough game to win right there, folks. I use this build every single game. It's the best Saw build, like for sure. I gotta give credit to Zelciar, honestly, for this build. He was the first one that I've seen go triple Tyrants, and it's really good. You're just an absolute melt machine. The only time I wouldn't go triple Tyrants is when I would need to go Aegis and Metal Jacket, and in some cases you do. Like if you need a reflex block because you're like triple stun or something, and they have like, I don't know, a Kestrel or something that you need Metal Jacket, then yeah, you might have to go double defense. But most of the time you can just melt them with 3 Tyrant's Monocles. Okay, what else can we talk about? Saw loses to Weapon Power Adagio if Adagio snowballs, or rather if Saw doesn't snowball and Weapon Power Adagio prevents it, and the Weapon Power Adagio is like, if he's good, then he can win. Like I just went against Dienzio a couple of days ago and he won. And wow, Alpha, you really just lost that 1v1. You gotta quit the game there, girl. That was just horrific. Because Weapon Power Adagio outranges him, so yeah, if he's a god and he goes a full crit build, then you can lose that. But Saw beats Ringo, Saw beats Vox, Saw beats not really Jewel actually. Sometimes, I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up. Jewel, if she snowballs and, you know, gets a little tanky, Saw, it can be tough for Saw to deal with that. But yeah, late game into the classic counters like of Saw, which are like Scarf and Celeste. I mean, they counter Saw, but like not a crazy amount. If you have triple Tyrants, you can still win those games just because you can kill them instantly. But it requires teamwork for sure. You need a good support to set up good engages. And you need to not do what I'm doing, which is just 1v3 and play like an absolute retard, but we're gonna do that anyway. Yeah, we're gonna lose that matchup. Block the Atlas. Oh, this kid Fountain and Gauntleted. All right, buddy. Anyway. Play Saw in solo queue. The only weapon power carry that's better than Saw, maybe in solo queue, is Kestrel, and that's a toss-up. I just prefer Saw, but starting all over is gonna get VG Gold with only Kestrel. You can play either of them, but like don't play Vox or Weapon Power Pedal or something stupid like that. Just play Saw. The enemy team has to be so coordinated. It forces them to be, because they have to keep rotating up and preventing you from just taking all of their turrets, which most of the time they can't do. So yeah, Saw is good in solo queue especially. That being said, team fighting with Saw tends to be difficult. He's not centered around team fighting. He's centered around pushing in and winning the game. And triple kill, easy. Right now, team fighting is not hard at all because we're like 4 million gold up. But in solo queue, your team often just leaves you and overextends. So if you're playing with a Saw, don't leave him. He doesn't appreciate it. Stay with the boy because he's all the damage. It also takes a lot of getting used to understand at which points you have enough damage to keep attacking, like I do here, they're just dying in a quarter of a second. I really cannot block Atlas this game. I'm sorry. I'm good at that. But yeah, you should know, you have to memorize at what points you can keep attacking and at what points you have to run away. Like when you're playing into alphas normally, oftentimes you can't just gun them and kill them while they're sitting on you and ulting in your face because they're going to do too much damage. So playing into alphas, when you're team fighting, assuming gold is even, you should spin up or like, yeah, get stacks, but without using your B, just get stacks spinning off of like something in lane. And then when alpha goes in, like shoot her for like 3 or 4 seconds and then use your A, run away or shank off of something, then use your B again. Like kite her out and then, yeah, have your allies try to prevent her from just going in on you, and then you can just, you know, out damage her. But same thing goes for Kroll. Like when a Kroll's getting his weakness stacks on you, unless you're way up in gold, most of the time you can't kill a Kroll in that situation, so you have to shank away. Playing into mages like Celeste or Scarf, a lot of the times you can't use your B to engage because you're just a sitting duck and it's not safe. So to engage into those heroes, just basic attack as you normally would, and then like boots or something when they throw down a skill shot. And then if they're at like a 3rd health or so, because most mages don't build armor and you can get that off of only a couple basic attacks, just go in and shank them and get the kill. You can't underestimate the power of Saw's shank. If the enemy team has low shield and if the enemy hero is squishy, like a Koshka or a Ringo or something, Saw can just shank off of them and kill them, even if they're at like a 3rd health. So if you want to practice Saw, if you want to play Saw, just sort of practice at what points you can kill the enemy hero with your shank. It sounds harder than it is. It just sort of takes time. One more Saw tip that I've given in other videos, but it's just to max his B ability, suppressing fire, and use it in lane whenever you think you can get a kill. Don't just use it because you're able to get damage down on the enemy laner. And this is like a really like high elo tip. I mean, it's sort of really specific, but like I saw D'Anzio doing this a lot in the VG8 while he was playing Saw, and I mean he's a god, but he doesn't play Saw that much. So this is one of the nuances that I was talking about. Just because the enemy team or the enemy hero could take damage from your B doesn't mean that you should use it. You should only use it when they're you know, out of range of your basic attacks, or if you can damage them while they're hiding under turret, and you can use your B ability from outside the range of the turret so you won't take damage from it. Or you should use it to get kills. But most of the time you should just try to push in and just completely just dominate the other enemy laner by clearing faster than him, attacking him whenever he's in range, and attacking turret whenever possible. So really almost every time that you're playing Saw, you're going to clear faster than the other laner, except maybe into Kestrel or so, like early and mid game, because Saw clears faster than everyone else. So when he's at full stacks and you've got a couple of your minions still behind you, the enemy carry still has to last hit those. So most of the time, if he doesn't want to let those go into turret, you just attack the enemy carry. And then if he hides behind turret, attack his turret. And then, you know, when your minions are getting low or they're about to die, just back off, but do damage to them as you're backing off and try to not get hit with a turret shot. It's just sort of about juggling that turret aggro between, you know, like a support in you, or just balancing the range of being in range and being out of range so it doesn't fire at you and you're still able to get damage down on the enemy carry. So only push in though if you have vision on the enemy jungler early game, you know, like on the lower brush in lane, because if he's in the brush below you and he jumps out and he's got a stun or something, you're gonna die and you won't be able to push. But if you have a support in the brush, a lot of the times you can still sort of 2v3 early game with Saw. It's situational, but a lot of the times you can if you just shopped. And just some other more tips. Saw can take the first turret really fast because the boys at SEMC lowered the base health of it, so Saw can just rip through it in like 10 seconds or so. Once he has like his heavy steel and 1 or 2 weapon blades. One of the last tips that I would give is that it's really important to have better items than the enemy carry whenever you're pushing into the turret, into like the first turret especially. So, like, most of the time Saw, pretty much 100% of the time, Saw should be CSing better than the enemy carry because you're Saw and it's easy to CS. So you're gonna have more gold comparatively. So you're gonna wanna get a really good shop in. Normally I'd get like heavy steel and 2 weapon blades or heavy steel and a 6-ins or something, and then go out and then just push that advantage as much as possible. Because you already have more base DPS than basically every hero. Maybe besides Kestrel, I don't know. Kestrel does a ridiculous amount of damage, but yeah, you do more damage per second than basically everyone, so you want to, extend that lead even further by having more weapon power, comparatively than the other carry. So make sure that you shop at smart times. Yeah, the important thing to keep in mind when you're playing him is that it's often you versus the enemy carry. It's sort of a 1v1 or a 2v2 if the supports come up. Saw's so much fun because it's sort of a mind game against the other enemy carry, and whoever manages to play more tactically and aggressively at the right times is gonna win the game. Unless the enemy carry is on box. Then it's an instant W. I mean, stop playing Vox, guys. My God, he's so bad. The only way Vox wins a game is if no one on the enemy team decided to carry. Like, that's the only way you win a game is Vox. It's so boring. His base damage is so low, and Saw can just destroy him. But the general takeaways that I'd like you guys to get from this video, just tips to keeping your head while you're ranking, is just always remember that Saw does more damage than every other hero in the game. I mean, I know it seems simple, it seems stupid to say, but when Saw spun up, he's going to outdamage the enemy carry, assuming, that you're within range of him. So just have that mentality that you're going to outtrade and outdamage him, and don't be scared at all. Constantly try to harass. You have to be as annoying as possible, and you're gonna end up winning the game. Just constantly try to punish the enemy whenever they overextend, and that can be as simple as literally stepping into your range when you're spun up, which happens all the time because, I don't know, these kids are not good. There's some just absolute apes running around the fold. But whenever a carry steps into your range and, you're spun up, stutter step towards them, get that stutter step nice, practice it in a practice mode or something, especially stutter stepping forward. And you're gonna outdamage him, you're gonna kill him, and then in that kill, it's gonna be a 3v2 or something. You're gonna be able to get a turret off of it, you're gonna be able to get another kill, you're gonna be able to get an objective. So you're gonna be able to stay up in gold. And when you stay up in gold, you've got more items, you're doing more and more damage, and the snowball just builds. So you have to just try to punish every single overextension, be as annoying as possible, capitalize on every overextension by taking turrets, taking objectives, and never waste any time. Whether it's running around in the jungle, just shopping for too long, don't waste any time. Either always be doing damage to something, whether that's lane minions, whether that's turrets, whether that's heroes, whether that's objectives, just always be doing something. And practice team fighting, practice knowing when you can shank away, knowing when you can continue doing basic attacks, practice your lane matchups. But Saw is just the most fun hero in the game, and I mean, I've been playing him for I don't even know, too many seasons now, And if you get it mastered, you can basically like win every single game that is winnable if you don't have someone running into their turrets. But I mean, like I said, you can just sort of go on autopilot with them. Once you master all the little nuances and things about them that, you know, make them tough to learn. But I hope you guys maybe learned something along the way. I know it's a long video, but I didn't really see any guides for weapon power saw out there, so I'm trying to change that. But hopefully you learned how to maybe rank up in solo queue better with them. If nothing else, maybe you'll just try them or something. But next episode, we're going to be taking a look at Ringo in a game with Nivmit. Love that guy. But make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. And I will see you guys in the next video. LouisVuittonDon out.